All right. Just take a moment to be present and open this evening with a centering meditation. So just take a deep breath, and as you exhale, relax your body. Take another deep breath, and as you exhale, relax your mind. And take a moment to get comfortable. If you have anything in your hand, set it aside for right now. And just have a sense of dropping into your body. Have an awareness of being seated in a chair, or if you're lying down. Just have a sense of your body, the physical presence of your body. And have a sense of calling your energy back to yourself if you've been having a conversation, depending on your time zone and what you've been doing prior to this call. Just have a sense of bringing your energy back to yourself. And just effortlessly, as if you're a magnet, easily and effortlessly drawing your energy back to yourself. If you're finding that you're still having a conversation with someone, just end the mental telephone call or email or to-do list. And as you release that energy, have a sense of being more fully present in your body. Notice your heightened sense, your hearing, your sense of smell. And have a sense of your physical body being anchored into the earth, that you're grounded and you have a solid foundation supported by the earth, nurtured by the earth. And easily and effortlessly, your energy just connects with the earth. You automatically plug into the spot that is yours. And have a sense of drawing up Earth's energy, which is grounding and nurturing. Sometimes you can picture dense forest or rich soil, anything that helps you, any image or color or memory. Bring that into your awareness to help you fortify your connection and grounding foundation. And now bringing our attention to our minds. Just take note of where your attention is. Without any evaluation or assessment, just notice where your attention is. And now with intention, have a sense of drawing your focus further back in your head, in the center of your head, behind your frontal lobe. There's almost like a intersection between the cross point between your ears and directly down the center of your head, above your spine, where those points intersect. And have a sense of relaxing into that space. And have a sense of just dropping back, just relaxing and reclining into this intuitive space. And naturally, as we drop back, we have a sense of alignment that we're connected to our higher knowing and consciousness, that we're in alignment with the energy in our body and connected to the earth. And from our intuitive center, we have access to all the information and resources and abundance that's available to us. It's through this point that we can access the solutions that are beyond our imagination. And through this point, we receive inspiration. And we affirm the connections that we can't think ourselves into. We receive what we call coincidences through this access point. And being in this open space, have a sense of drawing into your space exactly what it is that you need right now in this moment. And without recognizing it as a specific answer or a solution or enlightenment or direction, just have a sense of affirming, drawing into your presence exactly what it is that you need. Maybe it's your own secret that will be revealed to you within this talk or within the next 24 hours, but just affirm bringing that into your present space and grounding it into present time. And as we move into tonight's call, just be open to receive this time as an experiment and without trying to fix anything. Just be open to experiencing information and knowledge from a whole different place. Allow it to come to you. Allow the answers to present themselves, and maybe in a completely unexpected or non-traditional manner. Just allow that information to come to you, and it may be right now in this call, or it may be within the next 24 hours or the next week. But affirm that you've now brought it into your space, and therefore it's available to you. And Marc, whenever you're ready, we'll begin talking about the greatest secret of all.
Thank you, Gina. I really enjoy your opening meditations, and I always get something from them. That whole sense of relaxing back beyond your frontal brain is a wonderful image, and can be a key to real relaxation. It's good to relax as much as possible in any way we can throughout the day. I thought of doing a teleconference again on the greatest secret of all. I did one last April, but the world has changed since then so much. And I thought the other morning of offering people a multiple choice test. I have a multiple choice test for you. It just has one question, and there's two choices of answers, A and B. The question is, gee, now that there's such a recession, a deep recession, it might be a depression, now that the media is going nuts telling us of all these problems in the world, what's the best way to react to it? A, to really agree that there are problems in the world and to agree that it's even harder than ever. It's much harder than ever. And it's all a real struggle. And very few people succeed. And the odds are really against you. When you think of how few people succeed, the odds are really against you. And especially now with this recession. So why bother to try? That's A. B, even in a recession, these simple principles that I've discovered and that we all know of seeing opportunities everywhere and of making a clear goal and of going for it, these simple principles are universal and apply regardless of the external economic situations. And I would even add to B that you have everything you need within you to succeed brilliantly doing what you love to do. So which do you think is true, A or B? Whichever you think is true in your experience, because what we believe becomes self-fulfilling in our experience. So if we do believe that it's hard to succeed, life is a struggle, so few people succeed, and it takes really special talent or luck. I've run into some people lately, I'm lucky. It takes luck to succeed, and they don't have that luck. If you believe that, that becomes true in your experience. But I say to them, it's not, it is in your power. It's not external to you whether you succeed or not. In fact, it doesn't even matter what the outside world is doing, whether it's a time of recession or depression or a great boom. It can be easier when there's a great boom and people are making money and spending money. There can be fewer challenges. But these principles apply regardless of what external economy is doing. What are these principles? Well, they're so-called secrets, the secret of manifestation, or the movie The Secret that was so popular, and I'm glad it was so popular, focused so much on the secret of creating abundance in your life, creating what you want in your life. And that's a wonderful secret to know. And it does seem to be a secret because so few people seem to be able to effortlessly create what they really want in life. And that can be done, and that's a secret that you can find the explanation to in many different sources. Along with that secret, it's always been obvious to me that there are far greater secrets than just manifestation. There's the secrets of a life well lived. A whole lot of people that have learned the secrets of manifestation and wealth creation have still been miserable. In fact, some of our richest people and richest families are some of the most miserable. So money obviously does not buy happiness. And there are far greater things to understand beyond just the understanding the secret of manifestation. But in my book, The Greatest Secret of All, I start the first half with my simple explanation of the secret of abundance or manifestation, because it is simple. It's simple, and anybody can do it. Absolutely anybody. After I gave a talk one time, I remember this woman walked up and said, "Bottom line, Mark, are you saying anybody can succeed?" And I could just see her thoughts. She was thinking, even me with all my problems? And I said to her, absolutely. You have everything you need. We all have this miraculous physical body that is truly amazing. We all have this phenomenal brain, which we barely tapped the potential of. And most importantly, we all have this connection to a power far beyond us. And you can look at it in many different ways. You can describe it in many different ways. Ultimately, it remains mysterious. And our attempts to describe it never fully describe it. But we can just even call it our subconscious mind. We can call it superconscious, I guess. We could call it the universe even. Some people call it the universe. We know we are connected. Physics tells us this now. We're part of one single great quantum field. We are connected to the whole in some very mysterious ways. And the secret of manifestation, you could put it in those words, is that when we focus our energy and when we ask something of that, you could call it mind greater than ourselves, or you could call it our subconscious. That's a good image. Subconscious is often the way I think of it. When we ask something of that, this force is able to say yes to it and actually start in process giving us what we're asking for. Be careful what you ask for. I'm convinced the process is that simple. When we affirm, I am now creating the life of my dreams in an easy and relaxed manner, in a healthy and positive way. Words I highly recommend. When we make that statement, the whole universe in some mysterious way, or our subconscious, or whatever you want to call it, says yes, and starts showing us exactly what steps we need to take to achieve our loftiest goals. The only problem is if our next thought is, oh, but it's so hard, so few people succeed. The universe says, yes, it's so hard for you with that thought. Yes, so few people succeed, including you, with that thought. I really think that's the process. I've gone from total poverty for the first 35 years of my life to real abundance. And I've done it by seeing and realizing that for the first 35 years of my life, I had these deep beliefs that it was hard to succeed, and the whole universe said yes, yes, yes to that. Then I stumbled into a weekend workshop when I was 28 and learned this thing called the core belief process. And it took me 7 years to fully realize the power of that process, because what that man understood that taught it, his name was Ken Keyes Jr., and he'd written a book called Handbook to Higher Consciousness, and he taught workshops in the 70s in Berkeley. I just stumbled into one of his workshops. We spent all of Sunday afternoon doing this core belief process, and all it amounted to was getting down to those deep beliefs you have. And it works best when you're upset and anxious. And I finally, when I was 35, did it around money in a way that changed my life. I hit my financial low at 35. I was $65,000 in credit card debt. I'd started a company. It was on the verge of bankruptcy. I was really struggling, and it was a very emotional, difficult time. And that's when I realized, oh, this is time to do that core belief process. In fact, that's the best time when you're upset. And I realized doing that process that what I was upset about was my own self-image, and I was mad at myself. I really felt I was a fool with money. I was out of control. That's why it was all such a struggle. I really believed life was hard. It was hard to succeed. It wasn't once I realized that was my deep core belief, life is hard, I'm a fool with money, and I'm out of control, I don't understand money. Once I realized I believed that, I came up with an affirmation that directly countered that. Because what are these beliefs? Things we've been told, often with great emotion behind them, by other people, or now by the media. The media is terrible. The news should be called the bad news. Here's today's bad news. They love this economic chaos. They love murders and fires and floods and famine and wars. The media loves it because it sells newspapers and it gets eyeballs glued to TVs and ratings go up. They love disaster, death, suicides, and scandal, and that's what the media thrives on. Well, unfortunately, then we get barraged by all this bad news, and we can start to believe that the world is a dangerous place. We can start to believe that it's very difficult to succeed in today's climate, especially. Look, big banks are collapsing. Big insurance companies are collapsing. Oh, it's terrible. It almost reminds me of Chicken Little running around. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. The stock market's falling. Real estate's falling. So many people are so scared and working out of fear. And when you're in fear, you don't make clear decisions. Just like Chicken Little didn't make a clear decision, so afraid that the sky was falling. When we're afraid, we don't make a clear decision. My reaction to real estate prices falling is, good, I'm glad, because they were way too high. They're finally getting affordable again. I'd like to see them come down further so that more and more people could really afford to buy real estate. Great, let real estate prices come down. You could even argue it was a big bubble. This last one was based on real estate prices, the last bubble. So great, let them come down, let them come down. As soon as I realized my beliefs were that it was so hard to succeed in everything, I found the affirmation. Oh yeah, that's where it got off on a tangent here. The affirmation. What are these beliefs? They're things we've been told, like our media is telling us now that it's such a crisis. What is an affirmation? It's just words that we're telling our mind. We're just replacing one set of beliefs with another by looking at those deep core beliefs that aren't serving us, like life is a struggle, it's so hard to succeed, I don't have what it takes. That's a good one. I'm not, fill in the blanks, talented enough. I don't have the money. I don't have the ability. I don't have the experience. Whatever you believe that is hindering you, that deep belief can be completely counteracted with the right affirmation. When I got down to it, when I finally effectively did this core belief process at age 35, I realized I was struggling so much because I really believed I was a fool with money and I was out of control. And life was hard. And it's tough to succeed. Once I realized that, I found an affirmation that directly counteracted that. I came up with, I am sensible and in control of my finances. I am creating total financial success in an easy and relaxed manner, in a healthy and positive way. I started affirming that, and that started turning my life around. I put that affirmation all over the house in my office. I put it up on the wall. I carried it in my pocket. Whenever I get frustrated around money, I'd let go of that frustrated thought, and I'd say, I'm sensible and in control of my finances. Even though it wasn't true out there in the world. $65,000 in credit card debt in the early 80s. It might be, I don't know, $200,000 in today's dollars. It was deep. I was using it to finance my company and my life, and I couldn't even pay the minimums. I was in deep trouble. Our distributor had collapsed and didn't pay us for 6 months' worth of sales. My company was on the verge of bankruptcy, and I started saying, I am sensible and in control of my finances. I am creating total financial success. any realistic person could say, that's obviously not true, Mark. Look at the mess you're in. But the secret is that our subconscious mind believes anything we tell it and has incredible, limitless power. So I started telling my subconscious mind, I am sensible and in control of my finances. I am creating total financial success. And my subconscious started saying, okay, Mark, it's easy. This is what you do to create total financial success. And I found I could easily make a little list. Well, I got to get a new distributor that pays us on time, and I got to find a book that really sells, and blah, blah, blah. The steps to take were easy because I'd finally reached a point. I'd found the right affirmation that overcame a whole lot of my doubts and fears. And I believe to this day that single phrase, in an easy and relaxed manner, in a healthy and positive way, tacked onto every affirmation, overcame a huge amount of my doubts and fears. Because what are our doubts and fears? It ain't easy. No, I'm sitting there affirming, I'm going to make it easy and relaxed. Our doubts and fears, it's not relaxed, it's stressful. You start your own business or building your own career, that's stressful. It's hard and stressful. No, I'm going to affirm it's easy and relaxed. And it took me really about 25 years after my company turned around, when I was writing Millionaire Course, that I reflected on the fact that saying that affirmation, I am now creating total financial success in an easy and relaxed manner, in a healthy and positive way. I think saying that affirmation thousands of times overcame a huge amount of my doubts and fears. Because just those 4 words repeated subconsciously over and over, easy, relaxed, healthy, positive, easy, relaxed, healthy, positive, became self-fulfilling. I decided to not only create a successful career and business, but to do it in an easy and relaxed manner. And it was my decision to do so, and I affirmed that I was doing so, and it ended up being so. That's the power of affirmations. I'm convinced everything works. Affirmations work. Prayer works. Positive thinking works. Creative visualization works. Focusing on a goal works. It all works because we program our subconscious mind. We program our own brains. The only problem is negative thinking works as well. So when we're praying or affirming, the whole universe is saying yes to that. But then, if we go through our day and we get frustrated, we say, oh, it's so hard, this is such a drag, the universe says yes to that, too. With exactly as much power as it says yes to the good stuff, it'll say yes to the bad stuff. And so most of us have a huge set of conflicting core beliefs, and we take some steps in the right direction, and then we undo it. When we get frustrated, when we get angry, when we just start saying, oh, it's so hard, we're doing a negative kind of prayer that's just as self-fulfilling as the positive kind of prayer. So I really discovered the day I turned 30 the simple secret of manifestation. The day I turned 30, I woke up in a state of shock. I realized I wasn't a kid anymore. I looked around at my life. I had no job. I had no money. I was scrounging for rent, $65 a month in this one-room apartment in not a nice part of Oakland, California. And it had been okay in my 20s to be a poverty case, but somehow when I was 30, I was not a kid anymore. And that day, I discovered the secret of manifestation. Now, there's many, many ways that people have expressed the secret, in many ways they've discovered it in their lives. I heard of a Korean billionaire that just gets up early in the morning and spends an hour writing his goals. An hour writing his goals over and over and over. Well, I can see why he is a billionaire. that's one way to do it. I don't have that kind of discipline, so I needed to do it my own way. The day I turned 30, I did a few simple steps. I played this game I'd played years before but forgotten all about, and it was just called the ideal scene process. I picked up a sheet of paper and I wrote ideal scene at the top. And I imagined 5 years had passed and everything had gone as well as I could imagine. What would my life look like? And I wrote it down. Much to my amazement, it was, I have a publishing company. I'd never had any interest in business. And it publishes my books. I'd never written a book. And my music. I'd never recorded music. And I have a big white house on a hill in Marin County, California, the most beautiful place I'd ever seen. And of course, as soon as I'm writing it, doubts and fears started just assaulting me. But I kept thinking, I kept looking at the top and said, ideal scene. And so then I dared to add, thinking of my ideal, I said, and I have a life of ease. I don't work too hard. Here I said, I'm creating a successful business and writing books and recording music and getting into real estate and not working too hard. That was my ideal. Of course, then doubts and fears just overwhelm me, and the important work is dealing with your own doubts and fears. And that's where the core belief process came in so handily. Then, once I'd done my ideal scene, I simply took another sheet of paper and wrote goals at the top and listed my goals. Then, I'd heard about affirmations. I'd already taken that weekend workshop where we learned about core beliefs. So I rewrote every goal as an affirmation. To this day, 32 years later now, I carry around my goals as affirmations in my back pocket. And I just pull them out on occasion. Not nearly as much time as at first I said I would look at them every day. And I didn't, even at the beginning. At the beginning, maybe I glanced through them 3 or 4 times a week. Now I might even look at them maybe once a week, maybe not. But I looked at them enough, obviously, to start imprinting them in my subconscious. Every goal I had, I was affirming. I am now creating a successful publishing company in an easy and relaxed manner in a healthy and positive way. I am now writing a powerful, successful book in an easy and relaxed manner in a healthy and positive way. I wrote down all my goals as affirmations. That was step 3. Then the 4th step emerged over the next few months where for every major goal I had, and I was affirming, plans started to emerge. And it happens. As soon as you start affirming, I'm now creating success, doing what I love. You start getting ideas. Maybe with some people it's even, what do I love to do? How am I going to start with this? But you start getting ideas. And I just naturally started writing 1-page plans for every major goal. Years later, I realized how powerful that is. You're telling your subconscious mind you're making this powerful intention when you write a 1-page plan. You just put your goal at the top, to have financial abundance in my life, or whatever it is. And then you just list your plan, make your plan in 1 page. In various books like Millionaire Course, I give you 3 different ideas of different forms of 1-page plans. But what I always did is just do it freeform and just on 1 page list whatever strategies came to mind to reach that goal for now. And that was it for me. That was the thing that turned my life from absolute struggle and poverty and having no money to real abundance. That very, very simple program. And I've almost come to believe what you do isn't even that important. the way you do it isn't that important. Even your written plan isn't all that important. The important thing is to just keep focused on that goal. Do what is ever necessary to keep focused on your goal and keep affirming that goal. And the universe will say yes to it every time you affirm it and will show you your next steps. I got a wonderful email last week. It made my whole week. It's just, I've heard many stories like this, but this one just cracked me up. The guy, Mark, you don't know me, but he had just lost his job, and he had 3 kids and a wife and a mortgage, and he said he was panicked, and he desperately went into his nearest bookstore, and he said my book, The Millionaire Course, just called out to him, and he bought the book. And he sheepishly wrote, I haven't even read a third of it yet, but he said, I got to tell you what happened. The very beginning of the book, ideal scene, okay, he had no job, but he thought, well, he loved doing carpentry work. He'd love to work as a carpenter, but he had no tools, and he had no money to get tools. So he got to the part about affirmations, and he started affirming, I am now getting all the tools I need for 50% or less of their cost. That was his affirmation, very concrete. I'm now getting all the tools I need for 50% or less of the cost. He did that for a day or two, and then he heard from a friend of a friend that some woman needed some work done on her house, so he went over there and was looking around her house, and he looked in her garage, and it was filled with tools, every tool he could imagine he'd ever need. This top-of-the-line, state-of-the-art, these great tools. And he said to the woman, what's this all about? And she said, oh, those are my ex-husbands. Do you want to take them off my hands? So it just shows. Now he said he's got more work than he can handle. He's got all the tools he needs. He's happy as can be. Another great key that really, really changed my life was hearing one phrase from Napoleon Hill. Within every adversity is an equal or greater benefit. I wrote that down just about the time I came up with my affirmation when I was 35. And underneath it I wrote, within every problem is an opportunity. And then later on I added something from the Bhagavad Gita, 5,000-year-old wisdom. Even in the knocks of life we can find great gifts. And I started asking myself, what benefits, what opportunities, what gifts are in this situation? That's the kind of thinking that turns your life around. That's the kind of thinking you don't hear about in the media. Oh, there's this recession. Oh, I lost my job. Okay, what opportunity is in there? What benefit? What gift? I just had lunch with a guy that said the best thing, and I've heard so many people say this, but 18 years ago there was another recession, apparently, or something. I don't remember, but he said he lost his job. He had a big corporate job. He lost it. Well, looking back now, it was the greatest thing that ever happened to him because he launched his own career in spite of his own fears. He fortunately said he had a support group. And I didn't ask him what kind of group. I'm not sure what kind of group it was, but he had a support group. I think he still goes and sees them. And when he lost his job, he said, I don't know what to do. He said, his group said, well, do your own career. Go consult. You've been in big corporations. Go consult. And he said, I've never done that. They said, get over it. That's the story he told. Then he started even speaking. He said, I'm not a speaker. They said, get over it. Just go speak. He started speaking, and he had a book idea. And he said to his support group, I got a book idea, but I didn't even get C's in English. I'm terrible in English. I'm not a writer. They said, get over it. Write your book. And he did. He wrote a book called One Page Business Plan. And then he had ideas how it could be adapted to the web and put online and delivered to corporations. And he said to his group, I know nothing about the web. I'm a low-tech guy. I'm an old guy. And they said, get over it. And so now he's tremendously successful. I know I asked him to publish. I said, I want to publish your book. He said, well, here's the deal, Mark. It cost me 90 cents to print, and I sell it for $20, and I've sold $2 million worth of books. What do I need you for? Those were his exact words. So he's doing great. And he said it was getting laid off. That was his turning point, and he's so glad he got laid off, because otherwise he'd still be working for the same big corporation, waiting, counting the days to retirement. Instead, he's doing what he loves. So in these times of recession, and in all times, there's opportunity everywhere. There's still opportunities. There are unique opportunities because of the recession. So the important thing, really the key, and I promised I would give away the essence of what I know every time I speak. And one way to put the essence is, dare to dream of what you want to do. Ideally, dare, as Thoreau said it. Thoreau said, of course we need to build our castles in the air. That's what they should be. Then we put the foundations under them. So dare to dream that dream. Then make your list of goals, start affirming those goals, and make written plans for each goal, just a page long. Then keep taking whatever steps become obvious. As you affirm you're creating success, the next steps will become obvious to you. You'll have this feeling, oh, why didn't I think of that before? Yeah, I should just do that. And you do that, and that leads to the next thing. And that, to me, is the very simple key to manifestation. It's nothing new. Many people say the same thing. But find in your own way what works for you. Then, of course, beyond that, I do talk about the greatest secret of all. There's a far greater secret, and that's the secret of a life well lived. And that we each need to discover in our own way, in our own words, with our own vocabularies. But for me, when I ask, what is the greatest secret of all, it gets into, what is my purpose for being here? What's the best guidance that I can get? And I write about that in The Greatest Secret of All. And I sum it up for me. For me, I just get the words, love, serve, and remember. And love yourself and others. And serve others. Remember, any kind of business, any kind of career is service. And it keeps working as long as you remember that. All these big banks that have self-destructed, they forgot their purpose. The purpose of a bank is to serve people. The purpose of any business is to serve people. They forgot that. They thought the purpose was to create huge bonus checks for them. And that's what led to the really dumb decisions that brought them down. When we remember our purpose is to love and serve. Love, serve, and remember. I often get those words. Remember what? Remember to love and serve. And remember who you are. We're far greater beings than we think we are. We have these physical bodies and mental and emotional states, but we are spiritual beings. I think it was Teilhard de Chardin said, we're spiritual beings having a physical experience, not physical beings that may occasionally have a glimpse of spirit or something. No, we are eternal spiritual beings having this physical experience. Keep that in mind, and that is a great secret that will help guide you every moment of your life. Time has flown. Let me throw open the phone lines for any questions or feedback or anything. Gina, do you want to chime in with anything?
No, I'll just remind everyone if they want to ask a question just to press *6 to unmute yourself. And then when you're done, you can press *6 to remute yourself. And then at the end, since we're starting a new mentor program with Marc in a couple of weeks, we'll talk a little bit about that at the end.
Ah, yes, that's right. Good.
Hi, Marc.
Hi. Who's this?
Linda. And,
hi, Linda.
Hi. And I was wondering whether your core what you said about the core beliefs, whether is that the same thing as emotional blocks in your subconscious that some of these books talk about?
Yes.
Yes.
I think these deep beliefs, are just all tied up with all these emotional blocks. And the image I had of myself was sort of like this deep tangled, deep within me, sort of centering in the pit of my stomach of conflicting beliefs and emotions all tied together. So many of these beliefs were drilled into us with powerful emotion during those times, it starts when we're 2 years old, our parents scream at us saying, don't do that, we want... A 2-year-old is completely stupid and can do something that'll kill it with no awareness. So the parents have to yell, get out of the street, with great emotion behind it. And so what we take in is, the world is dangerous. Dangerous. We can die at any minute. And then if we had parents that struggled at all or that fought or that had financial difficulties or whatever, we pick all that up, and it leads to these deep underlying beliefs that life is a struggle. And it leads to all these emotional blocks where when we start to try to do something, the belief just springs to the surface that, you can't do that. We get blocked that way.
Okay. And affirmations can help to get rid of these blocks. Absolutely.
Because these blocks, they have underlying beliefs, these blocks. You're telling yourself something. You're telling yourself it's too hard, you can't do it, you're not capable.
Okay.
And the right affirmation can just really counteract years' worth of real negative limiting beliefs. Okay.
And you would know what is the right affirmation because it would give you that feeling of zing, right?
Yeah, and that's an individual thing. But yes, find that affirmation. I remember being so frustrated financially and realizing I felt I was a fool and out of control. And then when I said, what's the affirmation that would overcome that? When I came up with those words, I am sensible and in control of my finances. I am creating total financial success in an easy and relaxed manner in a healthy and positive way. I remember when I came up with that. It felt so good. It still feels good to this day. Those words are just resonant for me.
Feels very healing.
They really were. They overcame years of frustration and anxiety.
And have you ever struggled with feelings of unworthiness? Because a part of me doesn't want to be a millionaire. A part of me feels very uncomfortable with that. It's so. I was actually doing the ideal scene, and when I finished the ideal scene, I finally felt like it was possible. It was like this is going. Oh my God, this is going to start attracting things. And then I started to get scared.
It's amazing. I've felt all that, and I know it's amazing how we fear failure so much when we try things, but then if it starts succeeding, we resist and fear success. That's a whole other set of stuff that we have to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would we fear success? Why would we fear good things?
Yeah, we do. And there's that wonderful Nelson Mandela quote, Gina, you're in my office there, right? Are you there, Gina?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, right on my bulletin board there,
right.
Can you read that Nelson Mandela quote?
The whole thing, or you just want to read?
Yeah, read or edit it if you want. But I think this speaks right to what you're asking. The guy was so brilliant, is so brilliant.
This is actually, Nelson Mandela read it, but it's actually a quote from Marianne Williamson from Return to Love. And so she's actually the author of it.
Mm-hmm.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure.
Yes.
It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. And then it goes on.
Yes.
Okay.
But I think that's so true. Who are we not to be? We're a child of God. Why do we think small and want to hide our light under a bushel? I've started telling groups now, every one of you is a creative genius. The first time I said that, I thought I'd get some resistance. It was a big group. I got no resistance from that. Everyone said, well, I said, in your own unique way, you're a creative genius and you have a unique gift to share with the world. And I believe that's why we're here, to discover those gifts and to share them. That's the challenge. That's the great work for all of us.
Did you overcome your struggles with unworthiness by affirmations or?
Yes, I affirmed my way out of it. I do remember one morning, too, walking around my house thinking, I even started saying, do I deserve this? When I started getting stuff, it was like, and I just asked the universe, do I deserve this? And I got this answer floating through, which I do now. I talk to the universe or my subconscious or God or whatever you call it, especially in the morning. I walk around and I listen and I hear answers. And I said, do I deserve this? Don't you have to be special to deserve what I really want or something? And the answer I got, I think, really was a breakthrough for me. The answer I got is, Jesus said, ask and you shall receive. He didn't say, ask and you shall receive if you deserve it.
Oh.
Either deserving has nothing to do with it or we all deserve it. But he just said, ask and you shall receive. That's a great secret right there. Just ask for it and you shall receive it.
As long as you work on getting rid of those emotional blocks.
Yeah, where then you say, basically when you ask for it, then the universe starts giving it to you, and then if emotionally you say, oh, I really don't want it, or I don't deserve it, or I'm incapable, then the universe takes it away. Then you ask for it again and starts to give it back to you, and then you say, oh, no, but it's so hard, and the universe takes it away.
Oh, really?
I think that's the whole process.
Okay.
T. Harv Eker had this funny story. His image was that the universe was this huge cosmic warehouse, and when you ask for something, when you decree, or when he uses declaration rather than affirmation, same thing, but you basically put an order into the universe, and the universe starts filling your order. And then, if with all our doubts and fears, though, we cancel the order, and then we decree it again. We start saying, I'm going to be successful. Yes, the universe says yes and starts filling our order. Then we say, oh, but it's so hard, and we cancel it. He says, finally the universe gets fed up with us and is saying, will you make up your mind? Either decide you want something and go for it, or else just forget it. Just crawl under a blanket, go watch TV, forget it, quit demanding, and then retracting.
Mark, I'm good at attracting things.
Good. Yeah.
I'll put it out there. I'll think about it. I'll write it down in my diary. But once I have it in my life, I sabotage it somehow. Once I have attracted it and it is in my life, I sometimes sabotage it or push it away.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part that I need help with.
Right.
Yeah. How do I?
Well, there you can find, that's great. So you've got a real good piece of it already. You do attract it. You've got that going.
But then I don't feel worthy to have it. I feel, I don't feel so worthy. It's so uncomfortable. I just don't feel worthy.
Interesting. Okay. That's it right there then. You've really gotten down to that core belief. I am not worthy is a deep underlying core belief. So just say, I am worthy.
Okay.
Or I deserve all the love. I am a child of God. I deserve what I dream.
Okay.
Just say that. I am worthy. I deserve it. I deserve it.
I am worthy. Okay. Very simple.
Yes. The simpler the better, definitely, in dealing with subconscious.
Right. I'll try that.
Yeah.
Next time.
Good.
Hello, Mark.
Hello.
Hi, this is me, Beakus, calling from Atlanta. Yeah, I mean, I kind of have like similar challenge with her, because I'm 35 right now, and I think for the first many years, I've had some kind of, I've been eating a lot of junk food and stuff like I know that I shouldn't be doing, and sometimes, doing the affirmations. I find myself really at the beginning of every month. Starting with great intention. Obviously, at the start of the year, I always start with great New Year's resolutions. But then every month, I make a commitment to begin the month with the same resolution to be healthy or to go to bed earlier. And I find myself reverting back to the. It's like the subconscious mind, the image. Whatever is imprinted there is stronger than my willpower. So I go back. So I find myself at the end of the month, trying to correct it, and it's just so hard to get back. I was wondering, what advice would you give? Is there something that you can do something that I could do to self-correct more quickly, so that I don't have to start every new month, with the same resolution?
Right. I don't have much willpower either, and maybe that whole thing where you're setting yourself up trying to use willpower to overcome old habits. Mm-hmm. Maybe you can go around that. I don't have this sense that I have willpower at all, but I just keep affirming that I am living the life of my dreams in an easy and relaxed manner, in a healthy and positive way. And for me, it can include some junk food. It can include all kinds of things in moderation that don't hurt me. I think we get extreme in many ways, and the middle way is the best way. And some junk food is fine. That's not going to hurt. A bit of junk food, a bit of staying up late some nights just because you feel like it, that's all right. I definitely don't have any problem with that, and I do that all the time. And I haven't set it up so I need willpower at all. I just set it up so that I'm doing what I say I'm doing what I love. And I'm succeeding by doing what I love in an easy and relaxed manner. So
basically, yeah, because what it seems like is that you are kind of following. One of the reasons why people get upset, and I find that in my own life too, and reading so many, I've read like almost 200 self-help books trying to understand what is going on because. But one of the things that I've learned is that everybody has a different value system, and most people don't know what they truly value. And so, for instance, like people get, whatever jobs they can get, and just because, their value is, and some people have security or freedom, but they don't really know that deep inside them. Mm-hmm. So in your case, it sounds like you are. You have your values, you already know exactly the type of lifestyle because you created your ideal scene. So.
Yeah, and it didn't involve discipline. I have no discipline.
Right.
That.
Or maybe that's a wrong affirmation or wrong.
Maybe, yeah. Not even trying to be disciplined, not even trying to have willpower. Maybe you can just say, you do what you love every moment, and it works perfectly in leading you exactly where you want to be. I remember a wonderful thing I think it was in creative visualization. Gina might know this, but Shakti has people take a sheet of paper and divide it into 3 columns. And on the left-hand column, write what I want in life. Then the middle column is what I have. And then the right-hand column is what I really want. So then you write down, okay, I want $1 million a year income. What I have is $10,000 a year. Then in what I really want, she says, write what you have. What you really want is what you have. That's what you really want, subconsciously, deeply. We have created what we want. If we're broke, part of us thinks it's very cool to be broke and we're very comfortable. And that's actually what we want on some deep level. So to me, the way to really change that isn't to try to be disciplined about it or try to resolve to change my behavior at all. It's just clearly focusing on what you really want and affirming that you're now bringing that into your life. You know, my lifestyle included a life of ease and sleeping late mornings and being lazy, basically. So that means I can stay up late nights. And I often do. I often stay up till 3, till whenever I feel like it. And
yeah, because what I find is I have a conflict. Like, what I'm reading is that it says that the unconscious mind is our little me, right? That's the child within us, and that basically wants to do whatever it wants to do. It wants it wants no. Like Freud had, there's 3 things. He said we have the id, ego, and then the unconscious mind is usually that small part of within us that just, it just avoids pain and goes for pleasure.
Well, no, the way I look at subconscious mind, I look at it the same way some people even call it God or the universe, or, to me, the subconscious. Yes, it's best to address it in as simple terms as possible because it is like a child, I think, but I see it as incredibly powerful, able to provide us exactly what we ask for.
Right.
That's how I see subconscious. It's an amazingly powerful ally that we just haven't instructed clearly and with consistency. And when we ask for something, even if we ask it for $1 million a year, that's nothing to the universe. That's nothing. We can make $1 million a year, no problem. And we ask that of our subconscious, and our subconscious starts doing that. But then the problem is, what we've discussed before, then with our doubts and fears, we end up canceling that order and telling our subconscious, oh, it's hard, it's stressful. So then the subconscious says, yes, it's hard and stressful. But when we say, I want $1 million a year, the subconscious says, yes. Yes, here's how. You want $1 million a year? Here's how. That's why the most expansive goals, I think, are the best, because the subconscious, the way I see it, grabs onto that goal and almost like works backward and tells you what you need to do to get there. And it accepts it as no problem. You want $1 million? You want $10 million a year? No problem. Okay, here's what you need to do. Develop a better product or service and take these steps and serve people more effectively and reach more of them, and there's your $10 million a year.
Yeah, because one of the things, right now what I see is that, like my main challenge is, I've been in college for many years lately, and I'm doing my MBA. So one of the things that I find is that being in school, basically, I have created this. I used to wake up very early in the morning and go to school or go to work, but now it's all backwards because I go. I stay even later than 3. I go. Sometimes I don't even go. Because it's so kind of disorganized. Because I just get caught up on doing one thing and then I go to another thing, and it's like my bedtime is completely unprotected. And you really need sleep. You need to sleep and relax in order to perform well. And so what happens is, what I see is that for me, it's not actually working anymore. So, but I see. I mean, but it's a struggle because my unconscious mind knows that it gets pleasure by staying up late because I can do other stuff, and I miss that. So it's kind of like a push and struggle. And I don't know. I mean, one of the things that I've learned is that you can't really change anything until you have really sold yourself on the idea that, like if every part of me wants to change and is completely ready, then I know that the change will be automatic. It will be automatically accepted by the subconscious mind. But right now I'm resisting it. It's like my conscious mind wants me to go to bed early because it knows that it's better to have a healthy lifestyle, and I also feel better. I feel more productive when I can do a lot more when I'm relaxed.
Yeah, you have set it up so you're struggling, and there is some way to get around that. I mean, maybe I'm the wrong person to talk to because I don't have that belief at all. I don't think that it's unhealthy to stay up late. I love staying up late. I love the quiet of the nighttime, and so I stay up late.
Right.
I find I do just sleep when I feel like it, so I get plenty of sleep. So maybe you could just say, affirm to yourself that you get all the sleep you need. You sleep. You love to sleep, and you sleep whenever you feel like you can get all the sleep you need, and it doesn't matter.
And in an easy and relaxed manner, right?
Yeah. And then, like, I don't have any. I mean, some nights I'll go to bed with my wife at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And then usually she'll fall asleep and I'll read till whatever. But sometimes it just totally varies. I realize I have no set schedule. And that's the way I like it, just to follow my energy. But I certainly don't have that belief of staying up late consistently is unhealthy. I wouldn't want to believe that.
Right, and the other thing is, I mean, those are the two. Because one of the things that I know is that, I want to do this kind of work, but one of the things that I feel like, if I really want to walk my talk, I need to make some changes in my own habits before I can help others, change their. And besides sleep, I think the biggest problem that I have in my life is procrastination. It's like I wait until the last minute to get. It's either the homework or whatever. How do you? If you have a lifetime of 30 years procrastinating and waiting until, is it possible to change that using affirmation?
Kid, maybe I'm the wrong person to talk to because I do. I procrastinate too. I'm lazy. I sleep late. I procrastinate. I sometimes say to people that one of my guiding phrases I come up with is, never do today what you can put off till tomorrow. So maybe, and I'm quite successful. I'm as successful as I want to be, and I've done it with that kind of attitude. That's the power of the right affirmation. You can create great success and still be a total procrastinator.
Yeah, that I find it really amazing how you're probably, amazing. Are there other people like you? Because, I don't know that many millionaires that actually, that get to, sleep whenever they want. Basically, that's amazing. That you.
I know, and I don't know why more people don't. To me, it's like, that's my ideal, to work when I feel like it. But it's true, I procrastinate. I have people coming here at work. Coming into my office saying, Mark, you gotta finish this, letter from the publisher for the catalog. Come on, it's holding up the catalog, we told you about it 2 months ago, but yeah, I do procrastinate. I get the sense you're trying to discipline yourself in a way that you're resisting.
Yes, that's exactly what's happening.
And maybe it's good you're talking to me because I am undisciplined. I got kicked out of a Zen center because the discipline and the hours that were just way too stringent for me. And I realized my ideal is a life of ease. To me, that means being undisciplined, not having deadlines, and being able to procrastinate and work when I feel like it. And so there's a way to create what you really want. It seems what you really want is more of a life of ease, and you want to stay up late, and you want to procrastinate.
Right. I mean, one of the things that I'm kind of reading something that I'm surprised that a lot of people haven't written about this, but it's called, there's a concept called parse therapy, and they use that in hypnotherapy, and that's something like where, they basically do like have you heard of Gestalt therapy?
Uh-huh.
Where they say, like, a part of me wants to go to bed early, and they say a different part of me wants to stay up late. So what you do is you try to bring those parts together. So you listen to the voice of the part that says, okay, I want to stay up late, and then you listen to that. So you acknowledge and honor every part, and then you integrate. I want to write a book about that because I think that's...
Yeah, this is like, and then let's get on to somebody else here just to give somebody else but Shakti Gawain does write about this a lot in the work of Hal and Sidra Stone about disowned selves and dominant personalities, and how, we have sub-personalities that want to goof off, and although my dominant personality is the goof off, but most people's dominant one is the responsible person.
Yes.
And they have this disowned self that really wants to goof off, and so...
That's the shadow self, right?
Yeah, and it's possible to embrace it all, and it really is possible to, and I think the way around all your things, just to sum it up, and then let's get to somebody else, but
definitely.
Really do reflect on what your ideal is. What kind of life do you want to live? Do you want to be disciplined and get up in the morning and be not procrastinate anymore? And if that's what you want, then start affirming that and make it something you want, and then it'll happen. But I have a feeling you don't want that. Seems to me.
Yes, because that's you said you get always what you want, and that's showing up in my results. So you are right. You're absolutely right.
I think so.
Yeah, and thank you. I think this actually helped me to release a lot of my fears and the bad habits.
Great. It's getting late, but let's get maybe one or two others in here, just to give someone else a chance to say something or ask something. Anyone else want to jump in here?
Mark, I have a question.
Sure. Who's this?
This is Bridget from Washington, D.C.
Yes. Hi, Bridget.
Hi. When the other lady was talking about the core beliefs and, using positive affirmations, what if your core belief is so deep that when you say your positive affirmations, you're going, oh, yeah, right, as if I really believe that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Right. Will it help just to keep affirming until you start believing it? Because right now, my positive affirmations, I don't believe it.
Uh-huh.
I say it, but I don't believe it.
Yep.
So
I really think keep saying it, and you might want to keep rewording it. Keep speaking to that voice and counteracting it.
And it will make a difference.
It absolutely will. I used to always say it's really important how you word them, and you got to believe them. But I remember just flipping on the radio, and I heard this guy say, our subconscious mind is so powerful that we don't even have to believe what we affirm. He said, you can affirm, I'm gorgeous, I'm a genius, I'm talented, and your subconscious mind will just take that in and absolutely agree with it.
Oh, okay, so then that affirmation becomes more authentic.
Yes.
For you. You start feeling more authentic. Okay. Because right now, I feel like I'm not really believing my affirmations, but I guess if you keep doing it, it becomes believable.
Yeah, I think you're at least 3/4 of the way there, because you're aware. You're aware of your beliefs, and you're affirming, and then you're aware of the stuff that comes up as that result. Keep affirming and dealing with all that stuff. And you've got the process down. You're very aware of your thoughts and aware of those beliefs and aware of the reaction to your affirmations. So you're on the right track. Just keep dealing with those thoughts that come up. Just keep affirming the exact opposite.
Great. Thank you.
Yes. Maybe one more. Time for one more?
Mark, this is John from Concord, California.
Hi, John.
Hi. I just wanted to mention another book you've published that I found to be very helpful, and I think the title is The Way of the Master from John MacDonald.
Oh, yes, Message of a Master. Yeah, that's a classic. Good, I'm glad you like that book.
The one key to it I found to be most useful is the way he stresses the importance of focusing upon a single primary goal and putting all of your energy behind that, and when you're well on the way to that working, then work on other things.
Yeah, I found that book very, very helpful. I do remember when I first made my list of goals, a voice said, "It's way too much, Mark, starting a business and writing books and writing music and learning about real estate." A voice said, "Pick one primary goal and focus on that." But for me, when I thought about it, I thought, no, I really want to go for it all. My ideal includes, a successful business, successful books, and music, and real estate, and a life of ease, not working too hard. I want it all. Because I know a lot of people who grapple with that they really have several things they want to do. And they think maybe they should focus on one thing, which that book does say focus on one thing. I even think Think and Grow Rich, the one time I read part of it, I seem to remember, and maybe I'm misquoting, but I think in there it says you must have a single burning obsession. That's what I remember. But to me that just seems totally obsessive. But it is essential to have clear goals and to focus on one at a time and to go for each one and take whatever obvious steps are in front of us. That is definitely essential. And yeah, that book, Message of a Master, has inspired a lot of people. It was written in 1934 or something. Still in print.
Mark, what was the title of the book? You said the one-page business plan. Who's the author?
Right, Jim Horan, Horan. Yeah, he's an amazing guy, and he's really analyzed one way to do a one-page plan with real depth. It's a good book. Well, I think it's time.
So we'll just mention, Mark, the mentor program.
Yes.
Is scheduled to start next week. We may postpone it 1 week because we still have people signing up. But Mark offers a 12-week mentor course for $900. It covers 4 months. You can make payments. It includes a number of products and a weekly call with Mark to mentor you and ask questions and take you through whatever your path is for finding fulfillment.
Is that every week?
It's every week.
Yeah, we have a couple breaks over
weeks.
holidays, so we meet 12 times over about 15 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And
actually, last time met 14 times because we did 2.
We added some.
And that was great. We worked through, I've got 12 CDs. Each one is a chapter of the Millionaire Course, and we work in depth through that book. So.
And then there's also supplemental products as well as a one-on-one session with Mark, and you have a peer group that you're working with as well. And all the calls are recorded, so if you can't make a call, you can download the call. And so it's a very comprehensive program. You can email me at Gina, Gina, at marcallen.com for more information, or you can go to the website. And like I said, it's $900 for the 4 months, and you can make payments. And this is the last program at that price, actually. That was our introductory program price, and this will be the last one offered at that price.
Yeah. Well, thank you all. I love these teleconferences. I really enjoy them, and the next free one will be the first Wednesday in April. April 1st, April Fool's Day. So I'll talk to you all then.
Yeah, thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Be well. Be well.